So, bit of a moment. I was plugging in, I don't know what I was doing. It's been a long hot day and I was tired, and I was unplugging the fridge and I was plugging what I thought was for the water pump or something, and I completely blew the fuse for the whole system.
And it's really hot this time of day, but crazy that you can just be out walking along the bridge.
Tastes like chicken, doesn't it?
Hey everyone, we're Hannah and Jonny, also known as Finding Our Adventure. In this epic series, we're tackling the wild and beautiful roads of South Africa. Our journey begins in Johannesburg before we explore the incredible Kruger National Park. From there, we cross the border into Eswatini and then towards Lesotho to take on the legendary Sani Pass. After crossing back into South Africa, we hit the stunning garden route before arriving in Cape Town 1 month later. Good morning guys, and welcome to another episode of Finding Our Adventure. This morning we are in Africa and we're going on an epic adventure from Johannesburg up to Kruger and all the way down to Cape Town. So we've got a big road trip ahead of us, and we're going to be travelling in an awesome overlanding 4x4 by Overland 4x4 rentals, and we've just started the route. We're going to be taking the panorama route up to Blyde River Canyon, and then this afternoon we're going to make it to Kruger National Park. Last night we stayed at Mac Falls Forest campsite, which is where we are right now, and it was very quiet apart from the sounds of the birds and the crickets, which is what we fell asleep to. But there's no one else here on the campsite. It's because we're travelling kind of in off-peak season, but it was really beautiful waking up to this view behind us. We've got mountains and forests, and we've seen quite a few birds flying over there. But yeah, can't wait to go out and explore.
This is our awesome 4x4 overlanding vehicle that we're going to be using for the next few weeks. We're going to film a whole tour video, which will be coming soon, but first we've got to hit the road and head to Blyde River Canyon.
We've made it to our first stop of the day on the panorama route. We did actually go to Mac Falls, which is just next to the campsite we stayed at last night, and it was supposed to open at 8 o'clock, and we got there and the gate was shut. We waited a few minutes and we thought it didn't look like it was opening anytime soon, so we thought we'd carry on driving, and we've stopped at Lisbon Falls, which is just behind me here. It's got a really nice view of the waterfall, and we're pretty high up and you can see the mountains in the distance. It's a really nice day for it. Our next stop of the morning is the Three Rondavels viewpoint, and it is in a huge canyon behind me. It's really beautiful at the moment because the clouds are just kind of coming in and it's making it look very mysterious. There's a few butterflies and birds, and right down at the bottom you can see the river meandering through the valley.
So the Three Rondavels viewpoint is in the Blyde River Canyon, which is actually the third biggest canyon in the world. There's a bit of cloud rolling through at the moment, so the viewpoint of the Three Rondavels isn't that great, but it's absolutely beautiful. The canyon is huge, and we're just going to walk across to another viewpoint now. To get to this part of the Blyde River Canyon, you do have to pay 90 Rand each for international visitors to come up to this viewpoint. It's pretty cool though. There's lots of places to walk, incredible views all around. There's lots of birds, lizards everywhere, and the canyon itself is absolutely breathtaking. So we'll just have a little stroll around here before leaving and heading into the Kruger. we have left Blyde River Canyon and we've driven about 2 hours to the Kruger, which we've just entered. We have got all our documentations to be able to take our vehicle in. We're now going to head to the camp that we're staying at to go get our wildcard pass, which allows us to enter the park for up to a year. We're going to get a couple's pass, and then we can go into all the other South African national parks again as well on the same card. So it works out quite good because the Kruger is quite expensive to enter if you're going to be doing it multiple times, so it's always worth checking out the wildcard pass if you can. But we've got to go through the main gate now and then head to the rest camp.
We've had an amazing time driving through the Kruger National Park. When we arrived, we went through the Orpen Gate, and from there we had all of our camera gear checked, and we have a drone, and you're not allowed to have drones in the national park, so we had to make sure that it was done up in a bag, and then they basically clipped it so that it would show that we wouldn't be able to open it whilst we're here. So that's something to bear in mind if you're coming here. Make sure that you either don't bring your drone or you've got something to put it in so that they can cable it up. We've just made it to Satara rest camp, which is quite a drive from Orpen Gate. It's maybe just over an hour, but we've been stopping along the way because there's been so much wildlife that we've seen. We have seen loads of elephants and little baby elephants, zebra, giraffe. We also saw buffalo, wildebeest, impala,
Hippo.
Oh yeah, and a hippo. There's been loads to see, and it's been really, really cool so far. We've already seen some of the big five, but hopefully we see a few more. We've just checked in here at Satara because we're actually staying at Balule satellite camp, which is a little bit further on, and it doesn't have as many facilities there. It's kind of a bit more out in the wild. So we're going to head there now, and we might even spot some more things on the way. We just crossed the Olifant River, and it's a huge river. It looks really beautiful at the moment, but as we were coming down onto the bridge, there was a massive group of baboons, and they were deciding to cross the river just before we were, so we were literally following them as we were driving across the river, which was really funny. And some of the times they kept looking back at us very scared, and there was a really big one that was just not moving at all. But we're almost at the campsite now. We're just a couple minutes down here, and we'll check in and make some dinner. Do not feed the animals, Johnny. You're too off. We've just arrived at the campsite, and Johnny is making us dinner. This is our setup. It's a little bit windy, but we've actually got a little wind protector, which is really cool. And we've just got some onions being cooked, and I got this, which is a garlic and chili paste. I thought that's a nice cheating way of getting garlic in there. And we realised as well that the meat we got is actually due today, so that was a bit of an error. So we're gonna have to cook both of those tonight. We're thinking maybe we can cook the chili and then put it in the fridge for tomorrow, so hopefully we don't die. But yeah, it's been really cool. We've heard lots of animal noises coming from here, so this is literally the line here where the animals can come right up. And we've got our tent just up here. So we might be able to see some things at sunset, but it's just, the sun's just dropping now. And we're really hungry because we haven't had much food all day. All we've been eating is biltong, so we're very hungry.
Good morning everybody. We've woken to another beautiful day here in South Africa in the Kruger, and it was very hot last night. We were both sweating quite a lot. It was about 35 degrees I think yesterday it was saying on my watch. It's pretty warm, and in the tent it was quite hot as well because we were quite sheltered, so there wasn't too much breeze coming through the side netting. But we did hear lots of hippos last night because the river's not too far from us, and we could also hear hyena. Hannah actually saw a hyena run past the fence, and we could hear an elephant trumpeting last night. It sounded like something spooked it, so it got a bit upset. And there's a few other animals as well, so we're just getting up now, probably going to get some breakfast, and then we're going to head out and explore the park again. It's just gone 6 a.m. in the morning. The sun has just risen not long ago, and everyone's just getting up. There's been a few early leavers to go explore the park, because if you stay in one of these camps, you can actually get out into the park before people who are staying outside of the park can get in, which is really cool. So you can get up for sunrise and go start having a little bit of a game drive. And the Kruger's really cool because you can do a lot of your own self-drive as well, which is really good, which is what we're doing. And I actually used to live in South Africa, and Hannah also came to South Africa in 2014 for 2 months, but we've never been to the Kruger National Park, so we're really excited to be here. And this camp has been really cool as well. It's one of the satellite camps, so it's got basic facilities, but most of the accommodation here is 4x4 camping, but they do have a few rendezvous huts as well to stay in. So you can come and stay here if you've just got a car, but definitely the best way to do it is get an overlanding vehicle and come and camp here, because you get to hear all of the noises at night time. It's just a really good experience.
So this morning I've just been walking around the camp, just went to the toilet, and there's loads of birds everywhere. We've just come across this tree and it's covered in weaver bird nests, and they're all just like getting busy all in the nests, coming in and out, and they're making a right racket. This morning's route that we are taking, we've just gone past the Olifants rest camp, and we've now taken one of the offshoot roads that does like a loop around the Letaba River, and we just stopped at one of the little spots where you can look down onto the river, and we're pretty sure we just spotted a crocodile. And the only other thing we've seen so far this morning is some impala and some very beautiful big butterflies. But we're hoping we see something else soon. It's very hard to spot around here because it's mostly like very thick bush. Yesterday when we were coming through Orpen Gate and up to Satara, the landscape there was a lot more like grassland, so it was much more vast and you could see further for a lot longer. Whereas here we're really like squinting and trying to look through every little gap in the trees to hopefully spot something. So fingers crossed we see something soon. It's nice and cloudy today as well, which means it will be really good for photos and shots of videos. So hopefully we see something else. And one of the really cool things that we've got with us is a wildlife book, which basically means we can identify everything that we spot, even though we probably will take pictures and then we then check what it is, because in the moment sometimes it's really hard to like figure out what it actually is. So yeah, we're just following a camper van at the moment down this dirt track.
We just found a crocodile.
You've been on the hunt for them, haven't you?
Yeah. We saw one from the distance, but we just came across this tiny little watering hole, and Hannah just noticed one and his head went under, and then he's just popped his head out again. He's looking right at us now.
Just realised that the other thing that was moving is a turtle. We thought it was the end of the snout of another crocodile, but it's actually a little turtle. They're both watching us.
Well, this spot, after not seeing much this morning, this watering hole that we've just happened to come across has been pretty cool. We've seen a crocodile, we've seen a turtle, we've seen a kingfisher, we think. It's very beautiful, a blue one, I think. And then we've just been watching the weaver birds building their nests. And I've seen lots of weaver birds in South Africa before. And we also saw lots when we were last here on the garden route, but we've never actually seen them weaving before. So there's some nests that they've got that are brown, obviously been built a while ago, but these two weaver birds here are actually weaving their nests at the moment. So we've just been watching them do that, which is amazing. And we've got this really cool photo, I don't know if you can see it, of the weaver bird.
I love how you say we, but it was you.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And show the kingfisher shot that I got.
Okay. Just because you want to have one of your photos. Eh?
Well, it was on my side of the car, so I got that one. But the lens we've got is pretty heavy. Oh, it's not on.
Oh, my nose. Yeah, so this is, we think this is a kingfisher.
Yeah, look at that. Looks really cool.
Definitely getting older that we're into birds now.
Yeah, the only thing about our book is that it doesn't have birds, does it?
It's not a bird book.
We need a bird book as well.
But taking photos of them, we can identify them another time, so.
Yeah.
We just come across our first elephants of the day. There's 3 elephants just out here. Looks like a teenager one and maybe some sub-adults maybe. But they are just enjoying a nice little grazing session. And they're super chill, and we've just got the engine off, just enjoying watching them have their mid-morning snack.
They're wafting their ears. Does that keep them cool?
Yeah.
Oh, look, and he's got his leg crossed.
Yeah, they do that, don't they? When they're chilled, they cross their back legs. And what you'll see of elephants sometimes as well is if it's like a very tough bit of grass, they'll kick it with their front leg to get it out. Such incredible animals to watch. Tusk elephant, look at the size
Big
of the
male.
tusk. Yeah, massive elephant.
Oh my goodness.
We're just getting to the northernmost bit of the, well, as far north as we're going on this morning drive, and we're just getting to a camp where we're going to take a break, and we've just come across a big tusk elephant, big male just sitting next to a tree. He's kind of like,
looks like he's facing the tree.
like he's just pace planting the tree.
He's sulking.
So I'm just gonna.
After a morning driving around the Kruger, we've made it to Oliphant Rest Camp, and they have got a restaurant here. So we decided we'd order some drinks and a little bit of food as well. So what we have ordered is a very traditional dish which has got beans and corn, and apparently it was Nelson Mandela's favourite dish. I won't attempt to say
sampan beans.
Sampan beans. I won't say the proper name because I'd butcher the name. And then the other interesting thing we've got is croc bites, which is actual crocodile. Apparently it tastes very good, so we thought we've got to try it out ourselves. Apparently it's one of the few places you can get it. And the view here is amazing. We've just been looking out over the river. We've seen elephants and giraffes and some kudu, I think, as well. And in the distance we can see a huge baobab tree which has got like a big hollow bit in the middle. And you can just see for miles. It's really, really beautiful. It's very hot as well, so it's nice to have a cool drink.
Tastes like chicken, doesn't it?
For the crocodile bites.
Yeah, it's very, very tasty. Very like nice peri-peri sauce to add to it. But yeah, they're just.
What are they coated in? They're like a crispy.
Yeah.
Cornflakes or something.
Cornflakes. But yeah, really good. They said that they're the only place in the park that do these, so it's very unique to this particular lodge. So we thought we'd try it. So
we've just stopped on the bridge that crosses the Oliphant River. And it's one of the few places you can also get out and of your car if you want to, because it's fairly safe, because it's a long bridge, so you can see right on that end that if any animals were to come across, you would see them and have enough time to get back into your car. But it's a really good viewing point as well. You can see for miles and miles this way, and just spotted an elephant right in the middle of the river. Wasn't sure whether we'd see much wildlife because it seems like the river's quite high at the moment and it's quite a strong current, but yeah, really beautiful. There's quite a lot of birds as well, and it's really hot this time of day, but crazy that you can just be out walking along the bridge in the middle of the national park where the lions and the elephants are. Crazy. I've just spotted a hippo on the other side, and he's just gone under the water. But he's quite close, much closer than the elephant.
Is there another one over there as well?
Where? Over there?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's gone under.
I think there's one just over there. We'll see if we can get a shot on the big camera.
We've just arrived at Satara Rest Camp, which is where we're going to be staying for the evening, and it is absolutely roasting right now. We've both just gone and had cold showers to freshen up a little bit, and we've chosen, they said when we got here, to choose one of the spots if there was any available that was right next to the fence, which we've done. It was the last one available I think we found, but it's the only one that's got literally no shade, and it's like 33 degrees at the moment, so we're absolutely roasting. But I think what we might do in a bit is we might go for like a sunset kind of game drive before the gates close, because you have to be back in the camp by 6, so we'll have about an hour if we leave at 5, and hopefully we can go find some lions. We are just doing our sunset game drive. Hannah's driving at the moment, I'm sitting in the back so I can switch between both windows, but unfortunately we haven't really seen much at all. The only thing we've really come across is a couple of giraffes eating on the trees on the side of the road here, which are really beautiful, but we've got about 20 minutes before we need to get back before the camp gate closes. So unfortunately we haven't seen any lions yet, but we're going to head back to the main road now, and if we see any, we'll let you know. So we've just got back from driving around the park, and we stopped by the shop in the camp, and I picked up some some impala biltong, and they didn't have any. We normally like to have like chili sprinkles on it, so they didn't have any, but I got these peri-peri sprinkles from the shop, and it smells really strong, so I just sniffed it and it made me cough everywhere. So hopefully this works, and then we're going to go get some dinner now. So, bit of a moment. I was plugging in, I don't know what I was doing. It's been a long hot day and I was tired, and I was unplugging the fridge and I was plugging what I thought was for the water pump or something, and I completely blew the fuse for the whole system. So the fridge isn't working at the moment. So we've just been on the phone with the guys from Overland 4x4, and they've been really helpful, and they basically said there's 2 fuses in the battery box. So I've taken the battery box apart, found out which fuse is blown, and luckily the camp shop has spare fuses, so I've got one of those so we can get the fridge working again tonight. Otherwise in this weather it's going to get warm very quick. And we can hear lions roaring just over the fence somewhere. And as I was in the shop, Hannah was messaging me saying, quick, hurry up, there's a hyena walking past the fence again like last night. So I've missed all the action whilst trying to sort this out.
And look at your hand as well.
Oh yeah.
Cut yourself.
Lion got me.
Oh dear. Luckily we got first aid kit.
So I'm going to hopefully fix this now, and then we'll be able to have some cold
well.
drinks. Oh, yeah. So luckily that fuse worked and the fridge is back on running now, so disaster averted. And I think we'll just have some dinner now, and hopefully the hyenas come back.
I actually noticed there's a hole in the fence.
There is a hole in the fence, yeah.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed we get in the tent before they come back.
Eat our dinner quick. We are up at the crack of dawn this morning. It's just before 5:30, and the gates haven't opened yet for the camp. I'd read online that it was 4:30, but luckily we didn't get up then, because Johnny just said he'd be really annoyed if we got up for then. There's actually a queue to get out of the campsite. This is one of the bigger campsites, and it's supposed to be the best to see lions. So we're very excited that hopefully we're going to see some this morning. I think a lot of other people are also very excited because obviously they're in the queue.
We could hear them roaring all last night.
Yeah, they kept us up last night, roaring away, and it didn't sound like they were too far. Apparently the lion's roar can carry about 8 kilometres, but the lion's roar that we could hear last night was quite loud. Like, it didn't sound like it was in the distance, it sounded like it was just next to the fence. So fingers crossed we get to see some animals this morning. In the morning it's when they're the most active, so it's the better chances of seeing them. So we're really excited. We've got our cameras ready and a load of other people to see it with us. Just spotted some jackals on the road, a pair of jackals. It's really hard to capture them on the camera because they were just walking along the road, and then they darted off into the grass, and then you can't see them at all. So we are carrying on for our search for more animals.
Zazu with his morning report.
So we're currently driving along the S100, and it's known for lots of good sightings of our animals, and it's really beautiful because there's a river just running alongside, and we've just come across a massive I think it's a bull elephant. It's a male by himself. And as we were driving up towards him, he was reaching up with his trunk to the tree, and it didn't look like he would reach it because it was so high up. But he managed to get a branch and he just ripped it down, and he's now just chomping away at all the leaves. Just further on from the elephant, we spotted a male giraffe, and he was by himself as well, just on the side of the road eating some leaves off a tree, and he was looking right at us. Like, he wasn't, at first he was just eating, and then he was a bit like, I don't like being watched, so he's just staring at us. And he had loads of birds on his back, and then a couple of birds kept going on his head, on the top of his head. And then we just waited a little bit longer to see if he would do anything else, and he eventually just decided to walk back across the road. And then as we decided to leave, there was like 3 cars that just came the other way, and they completely missed what we saw. So we felt very lucky what we've seen today, and we're going to head back to camp now and have breakfast.
We had such an epic sunrise game drive this morning, and we really love the fact that you can do your own self-driving here. So we've been in South Africa before where we've been able to do self-drives, and it's really cool to be able to come to these South African national parks and be able to do that. You can do it at your own speed and your own pace. So for example, yesterday we spent pretty much the entire day just driving around and looking at all the animals, which is really cool, and it's a much more budget friendly option as well. So it's definitely something to consider if you're coming to South Africa. And we've just got back to our camp, and we've just had some breakfast. We've just freshened up and had a shower, and pretty soon we're going to be heading back to the Orpen Gate. If you are planning to come to South Africa and do a self-drive drive, then you can use a regular car. We've done that before when we visited South Africa, and it's absolutely fine. But I would highly recommend getting a 4x4, especially from overland 4x4s, because you are higher in the vehicle as well. So you are likely to see more game when you're driving along, especially if there's tall grass and things like that. And the comfort of having the camping and the tent on top and all of the facilities in the back has been really great. It's really cool looking around here in Satara though, because there's lots of caravans and other campers and stuff that have got AC on the top and stuff. And when it's been about 35 degrees and down to, like, 29 or whatever it's been at night time, that must make a massive difference. So for comfort style, that'd be really cool, but for everything that we need, this has been absolutely fantastic, and it's so cool driving around and being able to go on the big bumpy dusty roads. It's just such a cool fun experience, and we definitely recommend it. We have been very impressed with the facilities here as well at the camps. Balule, which we stayed in the first night, was a satellite camp, so it was very minimal, but it still had toilets and showers. It had no electricity, so even in the showers at night time there's no electricity on, but they had little lanterns, and there's nowhere to plug your vehicle in at night time as well, so you are relying on battery and solar power and stuff charging during the day. But here at Satara, they have electrical hookups for your vehicles. They have very clean toilets and showers with bug nets on them, so there's no mosquitoes in there either, and good washing facilities. They've also got a laundromat as well, and it's just a really cool place. The shop is well equipped as well. So for example, last night when we needed a fuse, I could pop over to the shop and it was still open, and we were able to get fuses to replace the one I had blown. And you've got lots of other types of accommodation as well, so it's not just 4x4 camping. They've got rondafols and various different huts as well. So and a swimming pool. Yeah, we haven't had time to use the swimming pool, but with the heat that it is at the moment in the mid-30s, it's probably the perfect place to go in the afternoon. But definitely getting up for a sunrise drive this morning was the best thing to do, because it's about 22 degrees already, though it's up to 28 degrees now. We've got air conditioning on because we're sweating, and we're just about to head over to the Orpen Gate. We've decided to stop at the campsite shop and just have a little look around before we leave. It is worth bearing in mind as well, if you are coming to the Kruger, to take note of the entrance opening and closing times, as well as the campsite opening and closing times, because if you're driving from Joburg, it's a very long drive, and if you're planning to arrive in South Africa and then drive all the way to the Kruger, you might not make it in time before the gates close. And it's really important that the gates do close, because as you saw last night, as soon as the sun sets, the hyenas are running around the edge of the camp, so if those gates were open, they'd be inside the camp and it'd be absolutely chaos. But yeah, we also have the wild card, and we highly recommend getting the wild card if you're planning to spend a lot of time visiting the national parks in South Africa, especially Kruger, because that is the more expensive national park to come into. It's still very cheap for, I guess, UK standards to come on an incredible safari, but it can add up quite quickly, the conservation fee each day for 2 people. So you can get an international wild card for about £279, and if you're planning to visit a lot of South African national parks and do a lot of time in the Kruger National Park, that can actually save you money. So we highly recommend that as well. But we're just going to go for a little wander now, and then we'll jump back into 4x4.
Well, we've had the most epic time exploring the Kruger National Park. We've just exited the main Orpen Gate, and we've got another very exciting adventure. It's not the end here, but we realised that only 80% of you only watch our videos and aren't subscribed, so make sure that you subscribe so that you get notified for our future videos, as we're going on a very long road trip all the way from Johannesburg all the way down to Cape Town, so there'll be plenty more videos to watch. But we hope you enjoyed this one, and we will see you guys in the next one.